2 versus 2 on the Indo-Pak debate tonight on the continuing big story, and now there is a growing demand that the Pakistani envoy should be asked to go back, and that pretty much will be legally, ethically, morally, completely the valid thing to do. The only question is whether the Narendra Modi government actually does it. Representing the Indian side tonight is Mahesh Jetmalani, senior advocate. He's joining us from London. He has strong views on Pakistan, has always maintained these views. Maruf Raza, thanks for coming back. Colonel Shafqat Syed is a defense analyst. He's got fairly rigid positions on the subject, but I'm sure he'll see the logic in this matter and will argue with reason and not with rhetoric tonight. Brigadier Javed Hussain is emotionally surcharged on this subject. He's being prepped up. We're lining him up from Karachi tonight. We hope he too will be reasonable. Now, let's give the Pakistanis the first go on this debate now. Let's look at it very logically, Mr. Shafqat Syed. Take away all your anger, or your fake anger for that matter, Colonel Shafqat Syed, away from the line of your debate. Your High Commissioner has violated diplomatic protocol. This is a very serious matter. He has gone ahead with the meeting despite the government in which he's posted making its displeasure known. He's gone ahead with the meeting, Colonel Shafqat Syed, despite India calling off the talks over the issue yesterday. He has used Indian soil to engage with secessionists. He has violated the Shimla Agreement. He has violated the 1999 Lahore Declaration, and we have the full right to throw him out now. He has two options. Either Colonel Shafqat Syed, he's shameless and sticks on, or he understands the gravity of what he has done and he represents a civilized country and not a terrorist nation. He should go back himself. Which option will he take? Go back himself or be thrown out?
Arnab, your opening statements were very, I would say, not plausible, and they
would
were
be
not
palatable.
like,
The word I'd use, they wouldn't be palatable for you, not plausible. I'd use the word, they wouldn't be palatable for you, but I put it in context, deliberate. I know your prejudice on the subject.
You know, we are talking rhetoric. Kashmir is rhetoric.
We are not talking, no, Kashmir is not rhetoric.
And our Indian side, it is rhetoric.
It may be rhetoric for you, don't expose yourself so early into the debate.
Saying it is integral part of. No, and then you went on to say that if you are from a civilized country, not from a terrorist nation, that was also too much. It does not. It
Why,
does
is there any doubt?
well
You have a doubt over that?
Get into discussion.
Do you have a doubt on that? On whether you're a civilized country or a terrorist nation? Why do you take that as an insult? It's a binary equation.
No. Why should you talk to me, or why should you get into dialogue if you consider that?
No, yes, because your actions.
When we go.
Your actions reveal that.
What action?
The actions of what Mr. Basit has done.
I think you are trying to hype a very normal thing. It was not such a thing which should be, which should lead you to cancel this dialogue.
What's normal about?
We are only interested in dialogue if India is interested in dialogue. Pakistan would not beg for a dialogue. Pakistan would always go a step ahead in establishing peace. And this meeting with Hurriyat Council is not a new thing. It has been taking place. It has always been taking place. And I feel in your programs, I've been there for a number of times, you have been trying to hype something with which you could deteriorate the relationship between Pakistan and India. And there you find
Mr. Colonel Shafqat Syed, I think you should be very careful with your words.
To call off these talks.
No, I'll tell you one thing. Colonel Shafqat Syed, by the way, we just lost his link out there. We're gonna get him back. I don't know if Brigadier Javed Hussein's satellite line is up. Okay, we're going to get our Pakistani guests back into the debate. But we've heard this time and time again, haven't we, Mahesh Jetmalani? The same argument.
And whatever you are saying, I'm hearing it time and time again.
Yes. Oh, you're back. Yes.
Look, peace is the main thing.
Yes.
We must seek peace, and peace is interaction. Peace
yes, we seek peace.
Call of the dialogues.
Yes, we seek peace. But we seek peace with a civilized nation on a civilized basis. So, Mr. Colonel Shafqat Syed, I hope you will be civilized enough to let other interlocutors from India also have a part in this conversation. Colonel Shafqat Syed. And if you're feeling threatened or sidelined, if you feel that you've run out of arguments, you can concede the debate. We have that option here on the news.
I have not run out of arguments. You said that you let other people speak.
Yeah, I'm arguing legally. I'm arguing legally. Let's get Mahesh Jetmalani. Mahesh Jetmalani, I hope you can hear me. Mahesh Jetmalani, we've seen this basic argument since yesterday. Since the I welcome Javed Hussain. Since the Pakistanis were stumped, and how horribly stumped, if I may add, since they were stumped yesterday, they have just one answer. We've been doing this all the time. Now, I know this is a ritual they started, I think, when that paper tiger called Farooq was the president of Pakistan. It's a coincidence all their presidents and prime ministers. Well, he was just a paper tiger. You know it.
No slinging. Arnab, no slinging. Please.
So I called him a tiger. You're upset I called him a paper tiger. Well, I'm not going to take my word.
No, you can't call him paper tiger.
Well, he was worse.
If you understand English, paper tiger is not a compliment.
Well, when in 1995, and again your line went back, and it's not an Indian conspiracy out there to get your line off. The fact is, when Farooq Leghari, Mahesh Jethmalani came to India for the SAARC summit in 1995, then he started this ritual of talking to the Hurriyat. Now they seem to think it's par for the course.
Yeah, you know, Arnav, matters have come to such a head today where the Pakistanis almost treat us, you know, with impunity. I mean, diplomatic red lines have been crossed, and they've been crossed more drastically than Abdul Basit meeting the Hurriyat separatists. Recently, we had evidence that a plot to blow up the Israeli consulate in Bangalore and the American consulate in Chennai was being hatched out of their consul in diplomatic quarters in Sri Lanka. So, you know, I mean, now everything is blurred. All diplomatic red lines are being crossed, but things have come to this pass because of the pusillanimity of the Indian government. And it's time that the Modi government now shows some spunk and actually they take some action. I think the immediate step to be taken right now is asking Pakistan to recall its President Ambassador Abdul Basit for talking to the separatists in spite of having been warned that if he does so, it will be viewed as an extremely hostile act and one which will derail the talks of 25th August.
Yeah, you know,
now if there's no follow-up, right, we keep swallowing. Yes?
No, I'm just saying I'm sorry to say it on your face, Colonel Shafkat Syed, you're hypocrites. You are just hypocrites.
Don't say that.
You're just hypocrites.
No, don't say that.
I'm saying that. I'm saying,
you are becoming one to say that.
And with respect, I'd like to substantiate why I consider you hypocrites. You're hypocrites because you have said tonight, and you say that it is a long-standing practice that prior to Indo-Pakistan talks, meeting with Kashmiri leaders are held to facilitate meaningful dialogues on the issue of Kashmir. Now, Colonel Shafkat Syed, are Kashmiri Pandits not Kashmiri leaders? Why does Pakistan have to selectively pick the anti-India Kashmiri leaders who have no stake, who have fought in no election in the democratic process of this country to engage in meaningful dialogue?
You should be little sensible on this. Let me, just tell me that the people who are seeking solution to Kashmir issue, should they be included, or those who don't want to seek solution to this?
Sir,
come on, have heart.
Sir, think of what you're saying.
Common sense. Pakistan should be speaking to whom?
No, Arnab,
yes, Mahesh Jethmalani.
Arnab, the Hurriyat doesn't represent Kashmiri separatists do not represent the people of Kashmir. They have boycotted elections repeatedly, and when they've been roundly trounced. There has been a 70% turnout, and there's been a democratically elected government in Kashmir, notwithstanding the boycott of the Hurriyat of state assembly elections. Why is Pakistan insisting on talking to these people who really don't represent anybody? There is no evidence that they have any solid support in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So why are they doing this? Because democratic norms and democratic institutions prevalent in that state have proved that they are completely at the margins.
Well, you know, I can substantiate once more if you want. No, Colonel Shafkat Syed and Brigadier Javed Hussain, are you there? I don't think you're there, so I put this question.
I would suggest that you prove your democratic standing by holding the plebiscite.
Sir, I just want to prove tonight.
In this region.
I just want to. I want you to understand.
Plebiscite would not be under the
I take no
Indian,
pleasure. So I take no pleasure.
Under the United Nations.
Colonel Syed, be reasonable. Be reasonable. Do you think I like to do this?
Why?
Do you think I take pleasure in calling you a hypocrite? That too on national television?
You do.
No, I don't take pleasure in calling you a hypocrite. It pains me, Colonel Syed. It pains me that your country is a bunch of hypocrites.
You are seeking things which should turn everything upside down.
Now let me tell you the most superb hypocrite in all of this.
Such words.
No, the most, sir, hypocrite in this case is only a description.
India is champion of democracy.
Sir, do not take my words.
Why doesn't it take its champion stand of holding the plebiscite in Kashmir?
Colonel Syed, and the moment I get Brigadier Hussain back, I want to put this question to him as well. Maruf, as I said to the Pakistani guest tonight, It pains me to call him a hypocrite or call his country hypocrites, but there is no better description. I just hope our Pakistani guests on the Newshour tonight will not take this as an insult, but as a description of how they are behaving. The most superb hypocrite, Maroof, in my view, the most outstanding hypocrite, Maroof, is nobody other than the Pakistani High Commissioner to India, who should be thrown out. And if, unfortunately, he has some apologists in our own country. Now, Salman Bashir in December 2013, Maroof, December 2013 says Pakistan has respect for India's internal matters and does not have an opinion on them. So Maroof, today when Islamabad is using its diplomatic mission to engage with separatists despite India's official warning on Indian soil, is it not meddling in the internal affairs of India? Is that not completely hypocritical from the position he took in December last year?
Yeah, Arnab, see, let me come. Arnab, you've asked a lot of questions, so please give me time to give 3 or 4 quick pointers. One, that the ambassador or the High Commissioner's job in any country, as any diplomat would know, is basically to further bilateral relations between his country and the country that he's based in. Abdul Basit is working quite contrary to that. That's been my position since yesterday, that if he can't further Indo-Pak ties, then he should go home and be replaced by somebody else. And if that person can't also do that, then we should look at severing diplomatic links with Pakistan, because Pakistan has gone into a sense of belief that governments in India will accept any brazen activity by them, either an attack on 26/11 or prior to that various other intrusions into India, and we still continue to humor them and have talks with them and encourage them to do all sorts of activity. So Abdul Basit Sahab was not entirely off the mark, thinking that this government will also not call his bluff. But this government has called his bluff. Now please hear me out, sir. This government has called his bluff. I agree entirely with Mr. Jetmalani that if Pakistan wants to have dialogue with sections of Kashmir, then they must also have dialogue with National Conference and other political leaders who better represent the views of Kashmiris than the Mirwaiz and gang, who have never really been tested in the hustings. Thirdly, and most importantly, what Pakistan's High Commissioner posted or Ambassador posted in another country, say Moscow, invite the Chechen rebels for talks and be tolerated by the government in Russia. Pakistan, there are many people who are sympathetic to the Chechen cause because of the Islamic linkages. Would they be tolerated? No. And finally, Colonel Basit Saab, other Pakistanis every time bring out this point that Colonel Shafat Shafzavid also was bringing this out. Plebiscite.
So forget that. It's not worth responding to, Maroof, this whole plebiscite argument. It's not even worth responding to.
Arnab, the UN resolution of 13th August 48, open it on the internet. Pakistan has not implemented part 2 of that. We could not implement part 3. It is now too much water under the bridge. Kofi Annan has said that publicly. Every UN Secretary General has said, don't bore me with it. If Pakistan can't build their state on any other institutions but rivalry with India, with Kashmir as a symbol of that, God bless them. We must abandon them and get on with our business.
Tonight I want to add here, Maroof, and I don't know if Brigadier Javed Hussain can hear me. If he does, I think you can nod. Brigadier Hussain, I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Oh, can hear me? Good. Because you come in you are there in a Pakistan that is burning. Karachi is under curfew. In your country, there is a fear of a coup. There is a complete law and order crisis in your country. Your Prime Minister is being nationally ridiculed. And on top of that, you won't mend your ways. Now, I told you yesterday, I think, that unfortunately, you have not read the 1948 UN Security Council Resolution 47. Nor do you know that the resolution is non-mandatory in nature. But I don't want to get into details of proving you wrong, because you are wrong, Brigadier Hussain. I just want to ask you about the hypocrisy that you are indulging in today by pretending to defend the indefensible, which is the position of your envoy. You seem to be enjoying this, Brigadier Hussain. It's clear to me you have no reply rather than that slightly sheepish smile, if I may say so. So let's go into details, should we? You have a reply?
Rubbish,
because you blew the chance. You blew the chance to start on a fresh note with a new government, right? And since yesterday, I haven't got an answer from you on how Syed Ali Shah, Geelani, Shabir Shah, and that coward called Mirwaiz, Umer, Farooq have greater legitimacy than the elected representatives of India. And the only option is to throw your envoy out.
Forget about your options. They are absolutely ridiculous. You have invited me as a guest. You have to have the patience to listen to me now. Look, this question of, I was reading this byline on Times Now, traitors meet Pak envoy.
Yeah, traitors.
Okay, by the same token, 99% of the Kashmiris in occupied Kashmir are traitors. You want,
so occupied Kashmir, occupied Kashmir. No. 1 second. Correct yourself. Correct yourself, sir. You are a senior man. I want to get all the interlocutors on the screen. Please, if I may. Please, if I may. Please, if I may, Mr. Hussain, let's get everyone on screen. Please. No, 1 second.
May I remind the Brigadier?
1 second.
You may not.
Brigadier Hussain.
May I remind the Brigadier?
Brigadier Hussain, I want to share 3 or 4 statistics.
Under the 1974 Constitution of Pakistan.
Here we go again.
Here
we go again. I was assured that I am not going to be interrupted.
Expresses an opinion against the state of Pakistan is seen to commit an act of treason. Why can't we call these people traitors? If you can call them traitors, we can call them traitors.
You know who the traitors are. I'll define traitors in this case because it upsets you. And Brigadier Hussain, I find it so touching that your heart should bleed for these cowardly traitors who never fought an election, have they? Mahesh Jethmalani never fought a panchayat election. 1 second, sir. Just 1 second, let me complete. Let me complete, sir. Never fought an election, Mahesh Jethmalani,
let me complete also.
Sir, please. I do not, you are a senior man, I don't want to raise my voice with you tonight. I don't want to raise my voice with you. I want to make my points with you tonight. And if I may have all the interlocutors on the screen, please, once again, because I'm going to take their reactions after this. 49.5% voter turnout in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, Mahesh Jethmalani. 61.2% voter turnout in the 2008 Assembly elections, Mahesh Jethmalani. And a record 79% voter turnout in the 2011 Panchayat elections, which were held peacefully despite the threat of a massacre by these Pakistan-sponsored terrorists. Elections in which the Hurriyat did not participate. Now, Mahesh Jethmalani, maybe it's time for you to repeat the question to the angry brigadier from Karachi on why we find the Hurriyat non-entities. Just hear him patiently. He's talking to you from London. Yes, go ahead, Mahesh.
Yeah.
Look, as I said again, in a nutshell, we believe in democratic people who speak for people who are people who are entitled to speak for the people of India or any part of the population or any state are people who are democratically elected and have the courage to stand and face people at the hustings. If they don't, it is incomprehensible how a foreign state represented by an ambassador whose duty is only to promote bilateral relations and not to provoke. In fact, his act is not one of provocation, it is one of sheer belligerence. It is incomprehensible why they should choose to talk to such people except for the sake of provocation. I mean, this is an attempt not to go on with the talks which were scheduled for 25th August. There are powerful interests in Pakistan. There's a very minuscule minority that perhaps wants talks, but the overwhelming majority of those who control the Pakistani state now seem to be against talks. I mean, they want belligerence. And this is a revisionist policy, Arnab. We have to recognize for what it is. Pakistan is a failed state. It has neither a present nor a future. Our Pakistani guests would not like to hear this. So they are revisionists. They are now going back to the plebiscite theory. In 2008, President Zardari was willing to take Kashmir off the table for talking. That was the state of fear Pakistan was in. Because they feared reprisal after 2611. But Arnab, part of the blame is the extremely pusillanimous response from 2008 till the end of its tenure of the Congress government in
That's history now.
The Modi government now, we expect much more from it. It has to do something extremely positive. First, a diplomatic offense is imperative, I say.